need to stop this man. I'm still a copper.
Not anymore. And if you refuse to stand down, tactical unit will shoot you dead.
What up, everybody? It is time to go ahead and actually review a movie on the streaming services. So I figured let's go ahead and actually review one of the hottest ones that's out there right now. It's Netflix's Luther, The Fallen Son. Now, this movie premiered in March of 2023, has a runtime of 2 hours and 9 minutes, and is from over in the UK. So if that helps you, if you like the UK, you like the Luther series, you know what I'm talking about. This is for fans of the British detective show Luther, fans of Idris Elba or Andy Serkis. If you're a fan of one of those two, they play big parts here. You see them a lot. If you're a fan of one of those two, this is also targeted for you. Also, if you're a fan of crime, drama, mystery, that type of thing, detective shows, this also will go and actually be a movie that is geared towards you. Now, the storyline follows like this. It says, brilliant but disgraced detective John Luther breaks out of prison to hunt down a sadistic serial killer who is terrorizing London. So that's the storyline that we have for this crime drama detective show. So with that being the story, I'm going to say that I'm a fan of crime mysteries and detective shows. I love those types of genres. I like all that kind of stuff. So in this particular review, I'm going to consider myself a main. I love it like that, but I'll give some good information for you casuals out there as well. If that sounds good to you, click like, share, subscribe. Did it? All right, cool. Let's go to it. So this is a movie that I'm definitely at odds with. Here's the good. I've seen the first couple of seasons of Luther. I haven't watched all the way. I believe it's gone like 5 seasons or so, but I haven't seen all of them, just the first 2. I like the Luther character that's played by Idris Elba. He's a flawed, intelligent, violent police detective. He kind of goes to do whatever length he has to go and actually go through in order to get his guy. I don't know how much character development has happened to Luther since throughout the series, and judging by the movie, he hasn't really moved that much. He's kind of seems like still is like the same guy. It's hard for me to go ahead and actually tell you if you had to have seen the series in order to see this movie. I got through it. I haven't only watched two seasons of Luther. Haven't watched the rest of it or anything like that. And I think as a standalone movie, you can get through this and be caught up of like who he is and what motivates him and things like that, and be just perfectly fine. You don't have to have seen a Luther series. I think there are some, watching the series gives you a better idea of who he is as far as things that he's done, of like why he's so ostracized and so kind of like hated on in the police community. So that might help you out a bit, but for all intents and purposes, you don't have to watch the series in order to watch this movie. So because he hasn't really progressed that much as a person, at least it doesn't seem like he has, he's still a jerk and he's still smart. So that's where he kind of like his character starts at. But he's willing to put himself on the line, put his life on the line to go ahead and actually catch one of the craziest bad guys in Andy Serkis. And Andy Serkis' character is called David Robbie. The game that they go and actually play, the mental sadistic games that David's character plays throughout this movie, is kind of like he's kind of like a Riddler or Joker of the Batman, just doing stuff to do it because he's smart. He can go ahead and actually think of these sadistic things, and he's staying ahead of everybody else. He's willing to endanger other people in order for him to get away or whatever and stuff like that. It's really crazy. And the story that's being told is that of David's character using people's secrets against them to do his bidding. So it's blackmail on a level very similar to the episode of Shut Up and Dance on Black Mirror. So if you've ever watched Black Mirror, you've seen that one episode where it's titled Shut Up and Dance. It's a very crazy blackmail type of scenario, and this movie takes it to the next level. This story is an engaging one. It really is. Between Idris Elba and Andy Serkis and the story, you have a lot of good components to make a very good movie. The problem with this movie is in the writing direction of ancillary characters and crucial plot points. Like the rest of the police force is just ridiculously stubborn, and or inept at their jobs. They're inept at handling like Luther's case before he goes and actually goes to jail, when he breaks out, the subsequent chase of the killer afterwards. It's just, I don't like the way that the police are portrayed on here, because they're either too angry and too blindsided by their rage, or they're too stupid. And either way, it makes the rest of it look like if Luther didn't exist, the rest of the police, like the rest of London, would be just doomed and dead. Okay, that's the way that this is written, and it bugs me. So I'm gonna go ahead and actually do a little bit of a spoiler. So for the entire time that I'm doing the spoiler, I'm gonna put this a little alert up here so that you'll know that this is the entire time I'm talking about spoiler. If you want to skip ahead when you don't no longer see the spoiler alert up here, then you'll know that I'm done talking about it. Fair enough? Cool. All right. So like the head of the detectives is not effectively playing the hand of Luther being a step ahead of them to nab the killer. So he understands the serial killer better than regular police do, and he's broken out of prison, so he should be right there. They want to go and actually get him and the serial killer too, but if he's proven that he's actually on the trail of the killer and you guys are not, then just let him go ahead and actually do that and follow him, and then you go and actually nab them to it. It's not that hard, right? And eventually she kind of comes to that premise, but it takes way too long for her to come to that thought process. But when they go ahead and actually finally meet up, that they're going to go ahead and actually capture all of them, they are prepared to capture the criminal David, who is in the wide open. He only has one hostage. He's surrounded and outgunned, but the police don't get him at that point, and it's largely due to ridiculous writing of how the trained SWAT officers are poorly positioned around this open area, and random car crashes that happen well after the traffic should have stopped. I mean, people, it just doesn't make any sense. It bugs me. It still bugs me right now thinking about it. It's like, what were we doing here? Who wrote this? What are we doing? It's just points that make you roll your eyes, and it's crazy for me. So it's like that component matched up with the storytelling and the acting of Idris and Andy. Just I don't know. But getting back to it, so take down that spoiler alert. Hey, welcome back if you skipped ahead past the spoilers. So for my casuals will like the craziness of Andy Serkis's character, and mostly Luther's no-hold-bars approach in trying to capture him. So you actually have someone that's rough and tumble trying to catch somebody who's crazy and sadistic, and you like those two competing, going head to head, and they don't spoil it for you, or they don't disappoint for you. They are going at it. There's enough of a way in crimes and reactions that will keep a casual viewer entertained. You do have to be able to get through the dumb police on this one in order to get to the resolution. And I will tell you that the climax of once they get to the final scenes where everything is going to crescendo on there, it actually is a very good, is one of the better scenes I've seen lead up to like a detective show standoff type of thing on there. I really liked it. So what's my verdict? For mains, I'm going to say watch it within the first 30 days. One of the things that I want to go and actually let you guys know is that Netflix does a lot of things by when people go and actually view them. So when you view something within like the first 30 days of being out, you complete it on there, it tells them that that's something that you want, that's what you need, or what have you, and stuff like that. So when I tell you to watch it in the first 30 days, that means it's something that is worth giving that upkick, letting Netflix knows that this is a quality one. And so for mains, I'm telling you to go ahead and actually give it that, because there's enough, even outside of the whole police thing on there. Idris and Andy bring it, and their acting goes and actually bring it, and their story is actually compelling enough, and that the final arc of it is actually pretty good on there. And so I like that pacing throughout there, and I think it's worth going and actually watching within that first 30 days. For casuals, I'm gonna say you could just put it on your list. It's not a drop everything and watch kind of movie. Like I don't need casuals to go and actually watch it right away in order to bump up the numbers. But I think it's one of those decent crime thrillers that put it on your playlist to say like, oh, you know what? I do remember that being a decent one for me to go and actually watch. And I think it'll be entertaining enough for you to go and actually watch it on a lazy Saturday afternoon or something like that. So again, for my mains, I want you to go ahead and actually watch it right away whenever you get that time available. For my casuals, put it on that playlist. It's going to be one that you'll be able to go and actually get on through and be like, okay, I like that acting between Idris and Andy Serkis. Some of the other stuff might go and actually detract you, but you'll be all right. But that's what I have for Luther, the Fallen Son on Netflix.
You see me now?
I am enjoying myself.
That's a nightmare to come.
Staying till the end. I appreciate you. Since you did that, your reward is being able to click like, share, subscribe for me. Yeah, that's your reward. Okay, just go ahead and actually do it. But if you can't do that for me, maybe click on one of these videos around here, just so that the algorithm knows that you like me. But until the next time, take care of yourself. I holla.